Chapter 196 of Chainsaw Man is titled Chainsaw Man to the Rescue, and with good reason, because we finally got the reveal of the fake Chainsaw Man. I mean, maybe this was the real Chainsaw Man all along, and Denji was the doppelganger. Crazy theory. But jokes aside, I love how this chapter confirms that the mysterious horseman last week with the weird looking eyes wasn't someone who put in fake contact lenses to act as a horseman. It is indeed Death. And there's one specific line that says, "Through the power of death, I will save you." So there we go. For people who thought this was Kobeni, or even more disgusting, spit on that thing. Who thought that it was Fumiko? Ugh. And even some of you thinking it could have been Power. Okay, I don't know who's coming up with these theories, but we have Death, and she's a little quirky, and she's a little bit of an oddball. If you were to tell me, DJ Miles, how would you make Death look like? Well, maybe like a Dami Mommy. I'm not even into that type of stuff, but when you think of Death and how up until this last chapter, we thought Death was the final antagonist, but then we end up realizing that it's probably Yoru all along. And therefore, now we're going to introduce Death as this quirky, scaredy cat girl. Then I'm okay with it. But still, Fujimoto, considering we know how much you like Dami Mommies, and I thought Death would have been a Dami Mommy, but I digress. And the more I think about it, I actually like her fitting in the mold with the other sisters. You know, the same thing with Yoru, the same thing with Fami. And who would have thought that it would have been Makima who was the eldest out of the three? I mean, to be fair, maybe Death had just never died and blah, 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 blah. But I'm just saying just appearance-wise. But let's actually break down the beginning of the chapter, because Death starts pitying the entire student body only to break down into tears. And when one of the students offers her a chance to help with the school festival by throwing the garbage into the school incinerator, she dismisses it as a waste of her powers, and she tells him to do it himself, since unlike her, he has no abilities to save people. So we see Death awkwardly crush some ants, and then one of the students feels bad for her and say, "Look, man, you probably had a miserable life elsewhere, but for you to come to Tokyo, oh my god, it had to have been horrible where the hell you were living if you're trying to come over here." But this guy, god, he just giving one of those good Disney lines where he's like, "Hey, you know what? How about you just cheer people up with your smile? How about that?" But then Death goes on to say, unfortunately, even helping out with the festivals is no point because it's going to fail. And why is she saying that? Well, I mean, you know, Fami brought it up 2 weeks ago that, like, the day Death arrives, or the day of the final battle, it's the same day that the school festival is going to be held in, which, man, that school cannot catch a break. But then this is where we get the confirmation that it's Death, because I quote, "I have the power to save you guys. Through death, I'll release you from your earthly suffering." All of these horsemen are unhinged and batshit crazy. Whether it was Makima trying to start a family through weird means by controlling people, and then you have someone like Fami who can starve people, and by starving them, whether it's emotionally, physically, all that type of stuff, she can control them that way. And now through this awkward girl's tendencies and being shy, I'm gonna save all of you because I know what's going to come, and by giving you my abilities, and by that I mean just making you die, that is definitely much more of an easier route than the suffering that you're potentially going to go through when Death comes with all these high-ranking generals greeting her. But things still seem odd, because if this is Death, who are these high-ranking generals going to greet if she's right here? I'm really excited to see how it all plays out when seemingly, as of right now, Death is in school and she wants to help these people out. But I like what we've seen so far with Death, and I cannot wait to see more of it explored. But who comes and saves this person to the rescue is, lo and behold, Chainsaw Man. And I love how Fujimoto teases the fake Chainsaw Man with the chainsaw coming out of his head, and you just see this grotesque look like guts coming out of it. And fake Chainsaw Man says, "With a heart that burns to right wrongs, I've come from the depths of hell, engine revved and ready." And Death is out here saying, "I'm gonna save you too." Like, oh shit. So they are not working together. They are not working together. I cannot wait to see this confrontation between the fake Chainsaw Man and Death. But I'm getting a little bit too carried away, because fake Chainsaw Man isn't done talking. He says, "Defeating devils with devil powers, delivering justice with the power of justice." That's right. My name is Chainsaw Man. And boy, that is not Chainsaw Man. But I love how this reveal pretty much is on par with the little sprinkles of appearances we've seen with the fake Chainsaw Man. You know, from the silhouette from when fake Chainsaw Man was first introduced, he did look a little bit larger than life. There's something wrong with the head appearance-wise. And then when we seen fake Chainsaw Man for the second time during the Falling Devil arc, looking at those two appearances to what we have now, and then even seeing the body with just this guts and oozing out of him. Defective Chainsaw Man, fake Chainsaw Man, whatever you want to call it, I love this appearance. And it seems like fake Chainsaw Man was definitely out looking for Denji during the Falling Devil arc, so I don't want to say it's going to be an antagonist just yet, but for Death to say, hey, I'm going to save you too, now this was something that was not on my bingo card. Death versus fake Chainsaw Man. Who's going to win? How's this battle going to turn out? Is someone going to interrupt? Probably, most likely, but I'm still excited to see how it's going to go down. Now, let's talk about what fake Chainsaw Man said through the power of justice. Because now, if you guys can recall the Chainsaw Man church arc, where a lot of people turned into the pseudo Chainsaw Man, they did it through the power of the Justice Devil, who was really the Fire Devil. And these people became pseudo Chainsaw Man because they were just the hardcore Chainsaw Man fanatics, and their definition of justice is what turned them into the creations that they became. If you look at it alternatively with Yuko, way back when, yeah, remember that girl? When she made the power with the Justice Devil, she became this weird, like, blob-looking tentacle monster thing, and she was able to read the mind of Asa somehow, and whatever her interpretation of justice enabled her to have that ability, more or less. Someone correct me in the comments down below. So to see this fake Chainsaw Man say, I came from the depths of hell, and through the power of justice, I'm going to save people because I'm Chainsaw Man, there's a few things that has my mind racing. One, I wonder if this is a student who is just saying things to sound cool because that's something that Chainsaw Man could potentially say, although we know that is not the case, that my chainsaw is revved and ready to go, and I came from the depths of hell, and defeating devils is devils, blah, blah, blah. But there's something even more fascinating that got me thinking, this person came from the depths of hell. And I really like the theory a lot of people have thrown out there from time to time, that what if the fear of Denji becoming this icon has now created, because this person says I came from the depths of hell, that we now have an actual Chainsaw Devil that was created off of what Chainsaw Man was, right? Because what do we know in this universe about Chainsaw Man? If you fear something, it is now going to become a devil. So what if the Chainsaw Devil was just not a thing, but through the power of Denji becoming who he was and just this well-beloved character in this verse, that now that the fear of Denji, the fear of Chainsaw Man is a thing, has now spawned this creation, and to go above and beyond, this Chainsaw Devil has now made a contract with the Fire Devil, believing he is in fact Chainsaw Man and all that stuff, because yeah, he technically is Chainsaw Man. He was created through the fears of other people, and now we have a devil who made a contract with another devil. Really exciting stuff. If that's the case, I'd love to see it. I love this chapter. I love that this is in fact Death. I love that we are seeing the fake Chainsaw Man. So Fujimoto, look, I'm just gonna relax here and say, now give us Kishibe, now give us Reze, and let me know what you guys think. Of course, if you want to save 48% off on my Chainsaw Man versus War playmat and desk mat, feel free to use the discount code FUMIKO for 48% off, and we will discuss more of this in the live discussion later on today. Take care. Dude, good chapter. Yeah, really, really good chapter. So, I'm going to end the video, but if you guys are still sticking around, you know, as I always like to say, fuck off.